But I feel like she's grasping for straws at this point. She knows she's never going back to WWE, so anything close to a story, she's trying to find somebody that'll write it up for her.
Yeah.
For sure. Is that it?
That is it.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm excited about this conversation, guys. I'm curious to know about what you guys think about it. We're going to talk about our favorite B-list premium live events and pay-per-views. And what I mean by that is anything that's not one of the big four. So not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, or SummerSlam. I've got a list of questions to go through in regards to the B-list pay-per-views. I'm going to start with the easiest ones. What's your favorite B-list pay-per-view? If you had to pick one that wasn't a big four, what would your favorite WWE premium live event be that isn't a big four premium live event?
That would be 2001's Invasion.
That's a great pay-per-view.
Because I feel like that pay-per-view doesn't get the love that it deserves.
I'm gonna pick TLC 2.
That's a WrestleMania?
Well, I know it's not like a pay-per-view. I don't know. There's not like, I'm a sucker for a ladder match. So I guess Money in the Bank. But I want it to be like TLC style.
Well, there was the TLC pay-per-view.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. I was just the way you worded it was real confusing at first.
Well,
AJ says Money in the Bank, Taboo Tuesday. Ted, you got one that comes to mind?
I guess I just go overall back in the day, and even now, I'm there's not quite as much I maybe, but I've always enjoyed the Elimination Chamber. I just have, because you get 6 guys who are vying at the top, and the winner, you get some kind of title shot, or sometimes the champ is in there. So I'm okay with the Elimination Chamber, and they've had some great ones throughout the years. So I'm just going to say Elimination Chamber.
All right, mine always going to pick the One Night Stand, specifically the 2005, the One Night Stand where it was they were in Hammerstein, and it was Paul cut that legendary promo on the SmackDown Superstars when they came in. So definitely going to go with that. AJ says In Your House. We talked about the best. Now I'm going to ask you guys, what was your least favorite? If you guys say, okay, there's one in the run that you could just do without and just give us a little bit more stretch to tell some stories, do a network special in its place, do something. What's one of the premium live events you would take off?
Crown Jewel.
Wow, you were quick to say that.
Any Saudi show.
Fair.
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, just not a fan?
It's not. It's other than it being stupid ass stipulation matches. There's nothing extreme about it.
Mm-mm.
Ted?
I'm going to say this may not be popular because there has been some great matches, but I know you sort of give me a little cliff notes of some other stuff we're going to talk about, but I cannot stand Money in the Bank being its own pay-per-view. I want a Money in the Bank match at one of the big four.
That right there is a fantastic segue, because my least favorite is always, and this isn't specifically this one, but you guys will understand this kind of pay-per-view when I say it, like your Fast Lane. Like that always just seemed like a really just, a phone it in kind of pay-per-view. They never seem like they really hold water. They're always just kind of one-offs. Ty says, it's already off, but I hated Hell in the Cell gimmick pay-per-view. Absolutely. That's the perfect segue, Ted. Let's just go ahead and let me ask you guys that question. Do the gimmick matches need their own shows? Do Money in the Bank need its own pay-per-view? Could it still be at WrestleMania? could Elimination Chamber be a blow off for something on any pay-per-view versus just having to use it in February? You know, is the TLC ladder match more specifically in its best when it was part of SummerSlam or part of WrestleMania? Do gimmick matches need their own show?
No.
No,
Quick no from Al. Bo, you said no as well?
Yeah, because why do Elimination Chamber is a spectacle.
Yeah.
You give me two in the same night, and I understand you got to be fair. I understand that. But give me two in the same night, you kind of ruin the spectacle. You give me 3 and 4 Hell in a Cell matches. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the gimmick Hell in a Cell, TLC, and all that crap.
The build that I always go to a reference point's not always Taker and Mankind specifically, but the original Hell in a Cell, the building to the idea that they had to have something for Taker and Shawn that could be like the way to contain that much hate they had for each other, and the way they built it up, it meant something. We saw it referenced with Cactus Jack and Triple H in 2000, building up to their Hell in a Cell match after the street fight. Like, it was such a cool spectacle for them to drop versus you knowing, okay, this is the feud that's building in the early spring. This is going to be our Hell in a Cell match. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of lost the flair of it. I think with a 2-night Mania, you can realistically do Money in the Bank 1 per night, but I understand how essentially the unofficial Big 5 now, so it probably won't change. I see them taking Money in the Bank. They went to London last year. It wouldn't surprise me if Money in the Bank this year is in Toronto. It wouldn't surprise me if that's another one of those shows that constantly get thrown overseas now.
Well, let's look at Backlash. Before it went to Puerto Rico and then France, how great was Backlash?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Puerto Rico and France both this year have set the standard. They were both the best shows of the year, including the WrestleManias. And WrestleMania had double the crowd. Just the way they were received in those two respective countries was unreal good. All right. This is a very personal bias question now, though, okay? So we can all pretty much agree they don't need their own shows. What is your favorite gimmick match, though?
Hell in a Cell.
A Hell in a Cell match?
It's
the end Twitter.
It's the end of ends. It's what this the blow off. Like you said a minute ago, it's the blow off. It's we can't contain them. It has to happen in Hell in a Cell. Don't give me a pay-per-view and call it premium live event WWE's Hell in a Cell and give me 3 Hell in a Cell matches. Like,
right.
AJ says 3 stages of hell. The triple layer cage match. That was cool. Al, what about you?
I mean, again, sucker for tables, ladders, and chairs. I don't know why. I think it's because like one of the first matches I watched was TLC 2. It's just so dope. But I do love a good street fight. Give me tasteful needed blood. Anytime.
Ultimate X is a sleeper pick, Mike. Great pick. Ted, what about you?
Give me anything in a cage. I'm old school, but I want a bouncy cage. I don't want I don't want the solid bars. I don't want that. I want something to bounce.
You want that, what was it? It was Halloween Havoc 91 with the electric chair in the middle of the ring.
No. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to see Abdul the Butcher electrocuted. I want to go back to Tommy Rich and Buzz Sawyer where you could almost stand up on the turnbuckle and reach the top of the cage. And it was just some chain link fencing that they got from a hardware store down the road. That's what I
AJ
want.
says the original War Games in WCW, back when they had a top on the top of the cage. Back then, they had a roof.
Yes,
Because
yes.
you remember the original one when I can't remember who it was. They went to powerbomb somebody, and he literally had to grab the roof of the cage because he was pretty much getting slammed into it because that's how low it was.
Yep.
My favorite gimmick match. I would probably say a ladder match. I am a sucker for a good cage match, though. 3 Stages of Hell, 2 out of 3 falls match was a different stipulation to clarify for AJ. Will, thank you. What's up, Just? Good to see you. Scal says he wants the 3-tiered cage back. That's what I was saying. When he said 3 Stages of Hell, that's what I immediately thought. Then I remembered the 3 matches in back to back to back. But the 3-tiered cage. Did you guys like that tie-in? We've never done an episode at Botched Spots and Share Shots on Ready to Rumble, which blows my mind. Do you guys like the tie-in when they tied the Hollywood into it and made it more than a gimmick match by having the 3 cages, but tying in the whole gimmick of it being in a movie? What'd you guys think of that? King of the Mountain, great.
I like the movie.
You liked Ready to Rumble? What'd you think about it, Ted?
Yeah, Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, hell yeah. Ty, I want to do a Ready to Rumble episode, and might be your Rivet City Radio debut then if you've got a rant for it. Boiler Room Brawl match, SummerSlam 96, one of my favorite matches. Mankind and Undertaker beat the hell out of each other. The infamous Paul Bearer turn, the betrayal learn when he smashes it on Undertaker's head. Oh, so many good options there. This is the loaded question, and I'm going to ask this one first before we go into the King of the Ring conversation that I have for you guys, because I think those 2 questions are going to tie in together. Is there an oversaturation in WWE and the premium live events? You look at somebody like AEW who does, they're in that 10 to 11 range roughly. WWE does 12. Where do you guys think that sweet spot is for premium live events? And have we reached that point where it's oversaturation because we're getting a pay-per-view every single month now from somebody? TNA, AEW, WWE, pay-per-views every month, no matter what. Do you think there would be something from letting your stories breathe some?
Absolutely. I don't want any more than 6. 2 months per build. I hate all this. Every company. I didn't like it back when Eric Bischoff started it in WCW and all that other stuff. No, I do not like it. That's a hill I'll die on. 6 is the maximum.
That gives you 8 weeks to build each story, to build all of your pay-per-views and stuff. It gives you 7 weeks of TV with a go-home show to finalize it. I think one every 2 months is good. And on the off months, do a network special, a Night of Champions or something. Do something that will draw views that isn't a premium live event. Bo, what do you think?
I'm on the 6 range because give me a little bit of build. I feel like it's short build, payoff, short build, payoff. I like maybe a little bit longer build and then a payoff. You already do so many, it's like these house show specials now, like the super shows and
the Madison Square Garden shits, right?
Yes, yeah. So just knock it down to 6.
I can agree with that. Al, do you think there's too many premium live events?
Yes. I think 6 or 8 would be a perfect number. Again, cut the fucking Saudi shows. I think Backlash is a waste of time. These little mini pay-per-views after the big shows, like Fastlane, and get rid of that shit. Fastlane is terrible. Backlash is terrible.
So we can all agree at some level there's just too much and oversaturation.
Instead of doing those, do more NXT pay-per-views.
More takeovers?
Yes.
I like that. I could get behind that.
That'd be cool.
Now, this got brought up earlier in the episode. I think somebody brought it up as a question back there. I think it was Circle of Debate. It was Dom. I remember now. The King and Queen of the Ring is right around the corner. It is both a premium live event that isn't one of the big four, and it's a Saudi show. In the past, the King and Queens have always had this really elaborate gimmick change, and some of them have picked up ridiculous accents. Is the King and the Queen of the Ring needed? And do we think this year has to be that turning point? Because Baron Corbin is owed a title shot. Xavier Woods is owed a title shot. They never got him. Is this the year where WWE has to give the title shots to the winners to make this mean something?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If not, it's just another tournament for no reason.
King and Queen of the Ring winners should get a shot of at least a secondary title. I know the main roster women's don't have a secondary, so the Queen of the Ring can get a world title shot. But we all agree that you should get something from winning that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is a fun question that I thought of in lieu of King of the Queen of the Ring, right? Let's say they bomb it and then they go, okay, we're going back to the drawing board, scratch it. What are we going to do in place of it? Okay.
Do they need something in place of it?
What would you guys think if WWE adapted a G1 style block tournament, but instead of doing it where it's like a pay-per-view and a big blowout, they use it in one of the lulls? So after Mania, or let's say between SummerSlam and Survivor Series, right? In lieu of doing the blow-off pay-per-view Fastlane, they build like a 2 or 3 month tournament with a series of network specials, and they involve everybody on their roster. NXT, SmackDown, Raw. It's this big spectacle event where they're doing block style tournaments on all 3 shows, building to Survivor Series. You see what I mean? So these tournaments build so the best from each brand gets to go to Survivor Series. How would you guys feel about that? Almost like TNA did with their BFG series. Exactly.
I mean, it would
What's up,
still
Doug?
be King and Queen of the Ring, just with a different name.
Well, King and Queen of the Ring is a 3-round tournament than the finals. So I'm saying have a block style tournament where you have all of your roster together, you have them wrestle each other, then the winners of each brand go into a single elimination tournament. You see what I mean? And it's like, that's what it could build to. So Survivor Series becomes like the finals of that G1 style block tournament. Survivor Series happens. What was it? Deadly Games Tournament, 1998, right? Have it something like that. Shake things up. How would y'all feel about something like that in WWE that would be off the beaten path from what they've done in the past?
I mean, I love it because we saw, even though there was only, 6, 8 wrestlers in each bracket, the Continental Classic in AEW, their Continental Tournament did them some pretty decent ratings and had some little stories throughout the tournament and set up some other feuds and some different things like that. So I think that would be great for WWE to do, personally.
Al, you seem hesitant.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not a huge let's do a tournament. I don't know.
You don't like wrestling tournaments?
I feel like we know who's gonna be like the final 2 or 4, and it is a great opportunity for them to showcase talent that they don't always use. But honestly, 80% of it is just a series of fucking squash matches.
I don't disagree. But this year at the G1, I sure as shit didn't see Naito coming through to win that.
Yeah.
Me and both stayed up and watched it, and we were both shit surprised when we saw Naito get that 3 count at the end of that tournament, because we both thought he was going to lose in the finals.
Yeah, but that's New Japan, where they're used to freaking good tournaments. Tell me one good, solid tournament that WWE has produced.
Deadly Games 1998 Survivor Series, where they crowned The Rock the World Heavyweight Champion. Next, please. And they did it all in one pay-per-view, too, and it was awesome. The Rock beat Mankind in the finals. It was, Perfectly done. The Mae Young Classic, also a solid pick. The first Dusty Rhodes Invitational where Ricochet and Malachi Black won it. The Dusty Rhodes Cup, also a fantastic. That was a Triple H tournament as well. Good news and bad news, guys. The good news is the episode's over, and the bad news is, well, I'll see everybody here in the next 24 hours with the exception of Ted. But Ted, I'm going to miss the shit out of you. Cruiserweight Classic tie, also another fantastic option. Boom. Lots of tournaments. But the part of the episode where I shut the hell up, everybody plugs themselves live on air. Ted, you're the distinguished guest of the night. Tell everybody to find you, what you got going on, and what's it feel like being the #1 podcast in Antarctica these days?
Well, I say, it is pretty good. And I'll just say Ted's Takes on Wrestling. You can find me on YouTube, not on any social media because I just got off of it and I'm much happier these days. But you can comment on those. You can hit me up at hilltruthpodcast@gmail.com. And that story I told at the beginning about the drunk tank, it might have been a work. It might have been a shoot. Guess what? You'll have to watch every episode and see if I buzz in or come on as a guest to find out the truth. I'll let you know next time.
Bingo. Yeah, Ty, he did the thing for you. Bo, it's your turn.
Here every Sunday for Botched Spots and Chair Shots. Thursdays for Nerdy News at 4:20. Tuesdays on Off the Top Media for NXT on tap. Anywhere else you want to find me, follow me on Twitter, Jacksbo2020. Hit the link tree.
Al?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at JustAGirl918. I have a new epiphany for the comic, so be on the lookout soon. It is going to feature my Paul Heyman figure and my Solo Sikoa figure, so be on the lookout.
That's exciting. I'm going to make this short and sweet and to the point. I'm bringing back my shout outs. Shout out Wrestle Bros. That's Dirt Sheet Dan Bakley's new operation. Shout out MATT and Cody Cornett over on TikTok. Creation World. That's my boy MATTRIDDER Matt Ritter. Follow the Wolfpack Podcast and Boyfriend Time on Twitch. Follow Chrissy, Tina, and Pat, and BC, and Richie, and my homies on TikTok and their operation. Fantastic. Follow my boy Tim Farmer. He does debates nightly on TikTok. They're fire. Follow all my friends. Then remember to follow us anywhere you do anything on the internet. Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio. You have all the options. Below you in your description, you have a link to Discord. That is a direct link to all the hosts and producers and everything for Rivet City Radio and Off the Top Media. Make sure you follow Off the Top as well. Make sure you check that link right below it. That is your Off the Top Media and Botched Spots and Chair Shots merch link. That'll give you a direct link to all of your t-shirts and stuff, the underwear with Bo's face, whatever you need. Most importantly, though, are those Amazon Prime subscriptions. With your Prime subscription, you get a Prime Gaming subscription. Go to your computer, give it to us here on Twitch, give it to us or Creation World or Wolfpack or Boyfriend Time or She Elite or any of my friends. Give it to everybody. You can also subscribe on patreon.com/Rivet City Radio. Ted, Al, Bo. That's it. Anything for the class?
Nope. Bye, Ted.
Bye, Ted. But
something happened.
I don't know, Ted, but welcome back right at the end. You get to hear me talk real fast. Subscribe to subscribe to some bitches, Will. I got in a lot of trouble for doing that in my youth. I'm done doing that kind of stuff. But now as we close another episode of Botched Spots and Chair Shots, I'll take a minute. Thank you for listening. I remind you to go wherever you do anything on the internet. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. Leave a comment telling me that fucking Ted is just amazing and we miss him terribly. And that I'm glad Bo's back. going back to Nerdy News with me. I'm really excited about that. Tell us how great we are. Either way, it helps the algorithm and it helps find new listeners. If you're feeling really generous to be one of the VIP people, head to patreon.com and donate to the Rivet City Radio Podcast Network. You get some fantastic swag. We get some fantastic guests. It's a win-win. I struggled through that one. Damn. For everybody's favorite Ginger Ninja Jaxbo, for Ted the Hillbilly Hill, and for the Boss Bitch Owl, I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.
Ta-ta.